Welcome back, everybody. It's time for today's comedian. Please welcome back to the show, Ken Reid.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Excellent musical accompaniment. I've had a cold, so I have to apologize if my voice isn't the normal sort of Shadow Stevens-esque tones that I normally have. I've been getting over this cold. My immune system is very, very good, but the problem is it's so good at one thing that it hasn't developed a plan to really do anything if it does get sick. It's very good at keeping germs out, but then I'm like, but shouldn't you have a plan? And it's like, no, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And then I get sick, and my immune system's like, why don't you give me like 3 weeks? I'm gonna look into this, and then I'll get back to you, and we'll take care of it. I'll make it right. That's what it says to me. I also learned while I was sick that if you have an uncontrollable coughing fit while you're urinating, it is the most literal, physical definition of hopelessness that you could ever possibly imagine. It's just, everything's in slow motion. I think I got sick because I made the mistake of going down to New York City a couple weeks ago with a friend of mine, and we went to visit another friend of ours who had moved down there. I have two friends. And it's two friends. And our friend who moved down there, he was showing us around his apartment because that is the tradition where we're from. And he got to the bedroom, and then he got weird, but not fun weird. He was just like, he wouldn't let us in there, and he kind of opened the door and gave us Storage Wars rules, where he was like, I can open the door, you not enter the room, do not open any boxes, you have 1 minute. It was like that kind of rules. And so what he didn't know was that when I was 22 years old, I spent $500 on a private investigator course that I realized was ridiculous the day before the last class, and I quit. But I did get some skills out of that class, and I noticed things people may miss, and I noticed that his bedroom was missing a key piece of furniture. So key, in fact, it is the furniture for which the room is named, in that he did not have a bed. So I was concerned about this, and I asked him, I said, you don't have a bed? And he said something very strange. His reply was, it's not a problem. I sleep in this chair. Now, that very statement is strange, because sleeping in a chair is sort of the very definition of a problem. Like, that's not... It's not a problem is a legitimate part of a sentence. You could say that. You could say, it's not a problem, I have cash on me. It's not a problem, I'm on the pill. Like, those are things you could say that are legitimate things that make sense. And I'll give you, granted, you could probably even say, when my house is on fire, I sleep in this chair. Like, that might be a legitimate use of that. But those two things should never, ever be said together. That shouldn't be something that should work. If you attempt to say that sentence, both of those fragments should act as equally polarized magnets and just blow apart. That's what should happen. So I'm very concerned about him sleeping in a chair, and I start to formulate all these follow-up questions. And then my other friend that was with me threw me off because he goes, oh yeah, I also sleep in a chair. So now I'm questioning me. Like, maybe society's moved past my old world bed-sleeping ways, but that's not a world I want to live in. Like, I've fallen asleep in a chair, but then I get up and go to bed. Like, I've had a hard day at work and I've been like, I'm just going home, going straight to chair. I've never said that. I've never been like, oh, it's so sweet, on my birthday, my girlfriend makes me breakfast in chair. Like, that's never been a thing. I've never confided in my friends that she's great in chair. Like, there's no romance to that. I would never say that. I wouldn't be like, oh, you're going to the vineyard, let me give you a list of chairs and breakfast. Like, there's no, like, that's not a world I want to live in. And if that's the world we live in now, then I need to sit down, and then where? Because I don't want to get a reputation just hopping from chair to chair. That's not how I want to live. Anyway, end of the story, it turns out that the two of them, independently, have just made very poor life decisions and are doing very badly. And that society hasn't moved past beds. They just have bad parents. That's what it worked out. So I felt a lot better about that. It worked out. Thank you very much, everybody.
Ken Reid. Ken, what's your website?
It's iCanRead.com.
iCanRead.com. We'll be right back right after this.